I hate two things. Number one would be rain, and number two would be emotional attachment with things that are out of my direct control. Things happen, and there's two kinds of things that happen. Number one would be things that happen to us, and number two would be things that are made happen by us. Now, what's the difference between these two types of things? What happens to us is usually out of our control, and what is made happen by us is under our own direct control. We can't control what the tax rate is, or what the next government policies are, or who is going to win the next match, or what the weather is going to be like. But what we can control is how much we work, or how much we work on our mind, how we meditate, how much deep work per day we can do, how do we regulate our informations, how do we regulate our emotions. Those are the things that are under our control. Unless you are playing the game itself, you shouldn't really worry about the game, because when you are playing, you are in control of the game to some extent. But when you're not playing, obsessing over the game will just make you attached to something which you don't even control. Now, we always worry about things. Everyone does. We worry about studies, we worry about culture, we worry about work, we worry about so many different things. And 90% of the times, we always worry about the things that are out of our control. Oh, well, the government is going to tax us to oblivion. Oh, the weather's awful today. So on and so forth. And yes, we worry about the things out of our control so much that we end up forgetting to worry about the things that are under our control. And I think this is the cause of sadness in the world. This is the major cause of sadness. We all feel sad sometimes because we don't see options. And how will you see options when the things that you are worrying about are not in your control? When you don't have the control, you don't have the options, which makes you sad. When we worry about something, we tie our emotional attachments to that one thing. So if we say that, okay, well, my mood depends on the weather, then we are pushing our emotional regulations responsibilities to the weather. If the weather is good based on our likings and dislikings, then we will feel happy. If the weather is bad, then we will feel sad. Now the thing is, we don't control the weather itself. We don't. We can prepare for the weather, we can carry raincoats or umbrellas, or we can carry sunshades, whatever it is. We can prepare against the weather, but we can't change the weather. And so we give the control of our own happiness to something that we can't control, which is the weather. Now shift this. Think about putting your sense of happiness into something that you control. So you base your sense of satisfaction, your happiness, from something that you do. So for example, the art which you're trying to make, you will feel happy when you complete the artwork. That way your happiness is under your full control. Because look, you are making the art yourself. It's not someone else that is making the art. So you control when the art is going to be finished. And once it's finished, you will feel happy. That gives you extra motivation to finish the artwork itself. And it's just an example that I'm using. This can be used across niches, across industries. If the ship is in our control, if we are the ones who are steering the ship, we will make sure to steer the ship in the direction of happiness. If someone gave you a button which said that if you press the button, you will feel happy, we would jam the button as many times as possible. Everyone does. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to feel satisfied. Everyone wants to feel pleasured. And so if there is a direct button which you would actually click multiple amounts of times to feel happy, why not place your happiness's requirements on something that you control, so that doing that thing acts as the button which gives you happiness? Because if happiness is not in your control, you don't control when you feel happy, you don't control when you feel sad. But if you derive your happiness from the work that you do, basically the things that you can control, you will derive happiness just by doing that work. It will act like that button which will give you endless happiness, endless satisfaction. If you're worried about something like the government, what you are essentially doing is you are handing over the reins of your emotions to the government. And in a perfect world, the one that you're handing the reins over to, the government, actually cares about your happiness. But this world is not perfect. What if the government or anything that you hand over the reins to your happiness to, what if that thing or they don't care? What if they're not bothered about your happiness? What if they're not actually going to do anything about it? Then you are at the mercy of them. So is it really like, doesn't it make you feel kind of insecure that you are handing over the control to your emotions to someone else? Someone else can now dictate if you feel happy or sad or angry or jealous. Someone else decides this. I mean, it's your emotions. You feel it. You feel the repercussions. You feel the precursors. You feel everything of the emotion. It's your emotions, but someone else controls it. It's like you are sitting in the driver's seat, but someone else is driving the car. Like someone is sitting in the passenger seat and telling you, okay, you will take the right turn now, and you have to take the right turn now because you have handed over the controls to them. But you have to realize you are in the driving seat. You have to understand that this thing is still under your control. You have to understand that if you just simply place importance on the things that are under your control, if you worry about the things that you can control very directly. So for example, for a business, the number of ads, the quality of ads that you can put out can be controlled by you very directly, but the responses from the ad can't be controlled by you. And so don't tie your emotional attachments with the responses of the ads themselves, because they can be anything. You can't control that very directly. But what you can control is quality of the ads or volume of the ads. Make the ads better, make more ads themselves, and just treat the customer responses as a metric to track and not something to feel happy or sad about. It's just a number that I need to track to understand whether my ad's doing good or bad. And the thing is, I give this example because it's easier to understand for me. There are so many more examples which I could think of, because this thing is a universal thing. It could apply to literally anything. The thing is, your sense of satisfaction, motivation, happiness should be under your direct control. It should be derived from intrinsic motivations. It should be derived from your own sense of self. And the truth is, you control a lot more than you think you do. A lot of people will actually look at this advice that, okay, well, you need to worry about the things that you control and not worry about the things that you can't control. This is the standard advice, right? A lot of people are given it. But the thing is, a lot of people will listen to this advice and they will just simply skip through it because they will think that, okay, there's not a lot of things that I control. What about your diet? Do you control it? And a lot of people will actually say no, because they're going to blame the companies. Oh, well, they are pumping the food full of addictive materials. I can't control my diet. Can you control your addictions? No, of course, duh. I'm addicted. And the thing is, this is the problem with these people's mindsets, because you do control a lot more than you realize. So to help people stuck in this kind of a situation, what I would suggest is focus on the physical movements themselves. Focus on that, whether you can actually physically stop eating the food. So there's a burger in front of you, and the decision is you pick up the burger and then you bite it, right? It's physical movements. It's all physical movements. And if you focus on the physical movements, you can actually say no. If you focus on the emotionality too much, if you think that, oh, okay, that's addictive, I will feel happy after I eat it, maybe I should sacrifice my happiness, but no, that's not the point. If you think that, it gets really complicated. But if you focus on the physical movements, you're like, okay, it's good or bad. Okay, should I do it or not do it? Boom, done. Decision made. And if you focus on physical movements, you can break out of any addiction. You can break out of any sticky situation. You can get into any good habit that you want. You can make progress much faster because you're not stuck in a pattern. One nice way to look at this situation is search on Google Richard Lazarus's transactional model of stress. What it basically says is that stress is not caused by occurrences and things themselves, but stress is instead actually caused by the things as you perceive them. Okay, so there's a car crash. If you relate with that, if you pour your emotionality in that, you will feel stressed. But if you don't, then you will not feel stressed. And the thing is, when you worry about the things that are out of your control, you don't have the resources to cope with them. Just imagine being a caveman and there's a tiger and you can't fight it. You will of course feel stressed. You don't have any weapons to deal with the situation. And the thing is, the same kind of system happens inside your brain when you worry about the things that you can't control. When you can't control the thing that you are worrying about, what happens is your brain goes into overdrive because you don't have the resources to deal with that. Because of course, you are not under control. You can't control it. You don't have the resources, of course. It's very obvious. And so that gives you anxiety, that gives you stress. But on the other hand, when you worry about the things that you can control, you have the resources. You can control the situation. And so that makes your brain think not in overdrive mode, but in rational mode, which will make you solve problems. Now the thing is, stress is not necessarily bad. There are certain goals which you need to think about daily, which will make you feel stressed because you don't have the current resources to achieve those goals. But you will be able to have those resources in the future. It's a vision, it's a dream, which gives you stress in real time. And it's not at all bad. In fact, it's actually a pattern followed by a lot of successful people. But stressing over something that can't be achieved, that's what gives you uncontrollable stress. That's what gives you unmanageable stress. That's what gives you unnecessary stress. And I'm not a supporter of unnecessary stress. A lot of people's 90% stress accounts for basically unnecessary sources. They worry about the weather too much. They worry about the government too much. They worry about taxes, this, that. Worry about your income. Worry about the one thing that you can control, income. Worry about the one thing that you can control, your health. Worry about the one thing that you can control, your mental health. Worry about the one thing that you can control, your surroundings, your environment. Stop worrying about the weather. Stop worrying about the rent. Stop worrying about the taxes, whatever it is. And when you stop worrying about the things that you can't control, you eliminate all the ups and downs. You eliminate the huge ups which you feel when you see them win, and you eliminate the huge lows that you feel when you see them lose. And this highs and lows, they don't actually go away. The thing is, the highs and lows which are out of your control, they go away, and the highs or lows which you control, they now dominate. And now basically you control when you're going to feel high, you control when you're going to feel low. And I think that's a much more powerful place to be in. Look, take the example of a student. If the exams are coming up and the student is worrying about, okay, well, I don't like the exam's timing. Do you think that student is going to succeed in the exam? I don't think so. But instead, look at the other student. He sees that, okay, the exam's in 1 week, my syllabus isn't finished. I'm going to try and finish as much of the syllabus as possible. You take accountability, you take control, and you get things done. You stop worrying about the things that are not under your control because you don't decide the exam dates, but you do control how much studying you're going to do, how much effort you're going to put into the situation. So stop crying about the things that you can't control and point the blame finger inwards. Embrace self-accountability. Ask yourself that what am I doing wrong? Okay, I'm placing too much emphasis on the things that are not under my control, and then throw those things away from your life. Stop thinking about them. Boom. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to stop tracking them or you need to absolutely detach yourself from them. I mean, in some cases, you do need to detach yourself from them. Like, I don't watch cricket anymore. I don't watch any games. I don't watch F1. I don't watch any kind of sports these days because I am placing control on something that's not under my control. When I'm watching an F1 race, I'm not driving the F1 car, so I don't decide who wins. And unless I decide who wins, I don't derive my sense of satisfaction from the game. And so sometimes you need to detach completely, but sometimes, like I said in the ad example, you need to track some metrics. Like for my YouTube, I don't want to track views, I don't want to track CTR, but I will have to track them because that's how I will understand if my videos are doing good or bad. That's how I will understand the direction in which I need to go. But my point is, you can track the numbers, you can track whatever you want, but don't feel emotionally triggered for them. Don't feel that, okay, well, that's happened and now I need to feel sad, or that's happened now I need to feel happy. Like, I don't care if my videos views get to as low as 8 or 15 or 2. I don't care. Like, it's views, it's numbers, okay, fine. Next time I'll have to try better on the hook. Next time I'll have to try better on the thumbnail. Next time I'll have to try and make the video better. That is it. I don't feel sad, I don't feel happy. The emotional attachment is gone. I still know the numbers, I still see the thing in front of me, but the emotional attachment, the power it has over my emotions, that's gone. I'm the one who is driving, and no matter what the passenger guy says, that take right, take left, I'm gonna follow what I think is correct. I'm gonna look at the sat nav and I'm gonna see, okay, this is the right direction, I'm gonna go in it, no matter what the passenger says. And this is what I mean when I say I hate emotional attachments with things that are not under my direct control.